Hello, I'm Gabrielle Brannock. In this debut episode of Discovery Dramas podcast, my actor friend Keith Singleton has volunteered to chat to me about the origins of Discovery Drama. We discuss the importance of creativity in our lives and the sense of belonging that comes from connecting with others who share our passion for drama. I'll also be giving you insights on what to expect in the Discovery Drama monthly masterclasses, including overcoming nerves and how to fully immerse ourselves in the drama experience. Please follow me here and subscribe on discoverydrama.ie to stay updated on future masterclasses and help build the Discovery Drama community.
But come here to me, will I ask you a few questions now about
it? Yeah, we might as well, yeah. I suppose people who are in, they're here to find out about, well, they're here to discover drama. So,
exactly, to discover Discovery Drama podcast.
So, exactly.
Yeah, you're a woman who I would always think you're always up to something.
Yeah, I'm
not in a sinister way.
Yeah, I always have it. So this is a little thing, Keith, I suppose, save you asking me any questions. So I've been working as a drama facilitator for a long time with, the story of my life. So I went to college and then I trained to be an actor, and I still have the acting going on, but I used to waitress, and then I started teaching, to be honest, as a kind of way to stop being a waitress. But then I ended up really loving it. I was like, I really like this, working with people young and old, and really there's so many skills, and everyone always walks out of a drama session with a smile on their face. Like, you and I know this, like, about it's just about energy, and it just spreads around the room, and there's so much joy. So I actually really enjoyed it. So then I went back and said, right, I'm going to go back to college. So I went back and did a postgraduate in drama and education. So bit more training, and so I've been working in Rathmines College here, which is quite close to me, for a long time, teaching acting there to adults. And Rathmines, as you know, Keith, is such an eclectic place. So you just never knew who was going to walk in the door. So there's just loads of characters, old and young, and a place for everyone. So I've been doing that, I suppose, God, a long time, about 16 years, and so many students in and out, and I'd be falling in love with them, and I think they might be falling in love with me too, but we do great relationship. And at the end of it, then a lot of people would say, can I continue, or what will I do? And I'd say, well, just go yourself and find something. And I suppose the big thing that's been gotten in the way of me kind of developing it any further is kids. I've had 3 kids. My eldest is now 16. My middle guy is nearly 14. The baby's 11. So I always wanted to develop something further, but I just kept saying every year, oh yeah, I'll do it next year. But this is the year, Keith. This is the big year for Discovery Drama. So I've gone and set it up, and the whole idea. So the initial idea is there's 2 folds. So the first one is business, working for businesses, using our skills, as we know as actors, are so transferable, around team building and communication skills. But that's not what this podcast is about. This podcast is going to be about, once a month, I'm going to offer people in the community, not necessarily actors. In fact, it's open to everybody. Anybody who's curious about acting, adults, so over 18s, curious about acting, or maybe was in a play when they were at school, or is in an amateur drama group. And my hope is that once a month, the second Saturday of every month, we'll meet in a room, probably in Rathmines. At the moment we're in Leinster, cricket club, and we'll meet there every Saturday, and we'll do a masterclass in different subjects. So I'm going to bring in different people. So I just thought, for the first one, if there was any interest there, I'll just ask myself, because I don't want to ask somebody and I don't even know if anybody would turn up. So anyway, I sent out a load of emails to students, past students of mine, and I have to say we're now full.
It's brilliant.
Sold out right away. So people are interested. So I'm doing the test one. So our first one is now the 10th of February, which is next Saturday. So that's really where it came from. And it's the whole idea is that we'll kind of develop a community of people. And then the other part of it is, to go and see the theatre. I mean, you and I know that the theatre industry has really suffered since COVID. And it's so fantastic. It's so addictive. And I talk to people all the time about theatre and plays, and people are always saying, oh, I don't know what's good and I don't know what's on. So the idea is that this once a month, that we'll all go as a group and go and see a play.
That's
Find
brilliant.
something really good and go and see and build a community and build friendships. And you never know, we might all run off together, this discovery drama. So that's really what it's about. Yeah. So
Yeah, and no better woman than yourself, because I've done, well, I say I've done drama facilitation. I was usually like, you would lead from the front and I'd be behind you saying, look, you just let me know where to go and what to do and I'll do it. And you always did that. And I find that that worked wonderfully for me, whether it worked wonderfully for you or not. But you have that extra bit, you see, you have that big heart as well. You always would care so much, and you'd have such a vested interest in anyone that was involved in anything, that you
mm,
would want to see them do well and get something out of it. I know you'd go home thinking about it and making sure that such and such was all right, or such and such is enjoying themselves. Is this person getting to flourish in the way they'd hope they might? Because, and
yeah,
I have found over the years as well, because I have done small amounts of drama facilitation, but for children usually. And it's more for me, I would just throw huge energy at it. And that would usually be my tack. But
yeah.
see, that doesn't work so well with adults. With adults, you take more time. With the kids, you can just get them to explode with energy. But with adults, there's more going on, I always think.
Oh, no,
Whereas
yeah,
a
but you
kid,
know what I've discovered actually? There isn't much of a difference. And
okay,
adults are just children walking around, you know? And like, especially nowadays, we spend so much time sitting at desks, looking at phones. And the amount of people that say to me, oh, I'm not creative or I don't believe that.
I don't believe that either. Yeah,
Because every single person is creative. I mean, even
yeah,
I just went to visit my uncle the other day and he's quite elderly and he's in hospital and he lived a very quiet life. And he almost would say himself monastic. But then like he would say he would be limited in what he would do. Like you could time your the whole day by him. At 11 o'clock he does this and 12. And he's lived his whole life like that. But yet he has these mad dreams he tells you about. So you just go, geez, there's an imagination that's never been
yeah,
tapped into or never had an opportunity. So yeah.
yeah. And sometimes I think you can have thoughts by yourself, getting back to you saying about the podcast and particularly the community thing. You can
Yeah.
have thoughts by yourself and you could think you're a bit mad. But
Yeah.
actually, when you share that story with someone else and you start, because I find collaboration is key now in anything. I
Absolutely.
would find it a very lonely station to sit down, write a play, perform a play, and then walk away and do everything myself. When people come in and give you their wee bit, and you can at the start feel a little bit precious, because you haven't had an idea or da da da. But then when you get people around and it's like you thrash everything out and then you have a look at what's left as well. And often, and I would say 9 times out of 10, what's left is something that's far more exciting than when you had that story and kept it to yourself, or when you had your feelings of how you are as a performer to yourself, whereas the outside eye is so vital.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you touched it there. It's about just being really brave, and I often thought that, if I'm writing anything or if it's like, if I don't push this on, it's not going to happen. And it's like half the ideas you think that's mad, but it's just, what if I just tried that? Or what if I just developed that a bit more? Or what if I told that person and saw, half of it is the sharing. You're absolutely right about the collaboration. It's so true. If you have someone there behind you or beside you or to bounce off, things can develop. It's amazing. Yeah.
Without doubt. Wonderful to be going to the theatre as well once a month. I would say I spoke to my wife there. My wife would go to the theatre every night of the week if she could, because she just adores it.
Yeah.
Whereas for me now, I'd be more like, I don't know what, well, I suppose I have such a huge love for football that stands in my way of being free most nights, and the rugby as well, of course. But it's, I went to the theatre, we counted it up, and last year I went to the theatre 7 times. And that was kind of, and that was including bringing my kid. I
That's
actually
pretty
brought my
good.
kid to
That's
more
not
kid
bad.
shows.
That's
Well,
not
I
bad.
thought,
Yeah, I wouldn't be far behind you now. I don't go as often.
yeah,
Sometimes it can be expensive. Although my kids can remind themselves, and I have a grand husband. He's a grand babysitter. He's used to seeing me jumping on my bike and off I go.
yeah. I
Yeah,
was going to say, but if you start going to the theatre and there was some concern about some people saying, well, what if it's not good, or what if it's, what if it's not something, just wait for a couple of nights. Don't book for the opening night. Don't book for the previews. Wait till
yeah.
the show has time to settle, and then you'll get a feel off someone, whether it's up your street or not.
That is true. That is true. But you know the way I actually end up. This is a bit risky now for me, because now I'm bringing a whole gang. Like a lot of the times, I go myself to the theatre just because
Yeah,
it's easier. And it also, like sometimes I can bring Stephen, my husband, and he's sitting there beside me, and I can feel him in the chair, and he's going. I know he doesn't like the show, and the way he's breathing and the way I was like, I just, oh no, I brought him to the show now and he doesn't like it. Or if I go myself, there's no pressure. And I feel like like this, sometimes even if a show isn't good, you do learn something because you can kind of
Absolutely.
go,
Yeah.
why didn't that work? Or what was that missing? Or what would I give to that? Or
Yeah.
so for me, like sometimes you're kind of like, oh, that was just awful. But a lot of the times there is a lot of learning, even if it's not an amazing show in your eyes.
Without a doubt, I went, and sometimes it's to do with subject matter, and sometimes if someone's just covering subject matter that isn't covered very often,
Yeah.
even if it's done in a way that you may not deem to be like precision or brilliant or something, it can, without a doubt. I went to see a show that I wasn't impressed by the acting per se, but
Yeah.
the story and the message stuck with me big time. And there was a post-show talk, and it was so powerful. And I thought, geez, I actually don't even think I enjoyed that piece of theatre, but by God, am I buzzing about what I saw. So no, it can grab you in different ways as well. And the Fringe Festival as well, of course, if you're ever planning, that Dublin Fringe Festival has to be one of the best.
It's absolutely, yeah. There's loads of stuff. Yeah. No, we're lucky. Like there's so many lovely theatres. Like there's obviously the big ones, the Abbey and the Gate, and then there's the M50 ones, the Pavilion and the Draocht and the Civic and the Axis, of course, in Ballymun. And then there's a lovely small theatre. We have the Bewley's Cafe, we have New Theatre, we have Smock Alley. Is there any other? So there's loads of possibilities. Loads.
Yeah, and come here, when you do the drama masterclasses, when you do the discovery drama masterclasses and the podcast, what do you see them looking like? Someone walks in the door.
Brilliant question.
15 people have walked in the door. What happens next?
Okay, so they might know me, or they might recognize one or two people in the class, or they might not know anybody. So I suppose what I would expect them to feel is nervous, and that's just totally normal. And I suppose just to say, not to be hard on yourself for feeling like that, but booking the ticket, getting yourself in there. I'm a pretty relaxed person, and I would go out of my way to make somebody feel welcome. And the type of work that we're doing, the beauty of it is a lot of it is physical. A lot of it's in the body. So there isn't, even though you have the nerves, like you're 10 minutes into it and you're forgetting to think because you're on your feet and you're doing something and you're doing actions. So I always equate drama to kind of a meditation. It's very similar. Like I'm not very good at meditation. I'm not very good at sitting still. But then, I think, God, I'm not good at that. But then I realized that actually acting is a form of meditation. So when you're doing drama, it's an escape. And why are we all trying to hop on the stage all the time? Because of that feeling of focus, especially very busy brains like mine. And if you don't mind saying yours as well, Keith.
Oh, listen, I don't mind you saying that at all.
Like it's no coincidence that we're interested in acting,
Well, it suits me down to the ground. I know I don't have to question my existence or what I've chosen as my thing in life. I absolutely have fallen into the right thing because I absolutely crave variety as well. And I also, like you said yourself, but not being able to sit still. Like still my wife would even look at me and we could sit down to watch a film and she'll look over 5 minutes later and I'm off the couch and I'm up doing something else because I just can't, I'm brutal. And I used to... And I used to search throughout my 20s. I'd be like searching for ways of like, why can't I relax? So I used to kind of fight it. And now I'm kind of like, I'm delighted. I think by the time I start relaxing, I'll just turn into a slug on a couch. So I'm better off staying away from that as long as I can.
No, it's good to find something actually that you can just relax and focus. I suppose it's about focusing on one thing. I find that hard. Yeah. Drama is the only thing, I suppose, that has helped. I'm no good at drawing or sewing or anything like that, or gardening. Yeah.
But come here to me. You told me a little bit earlier on about your journey into acting, and you had said you'd been waitressing and then going and studying and doing drama facilitation, and waitressing and bar work and stuff like that usually go hand in hand, especially when you're younger, because it's kind of relatively flexible hours and you can get the tips and all that kind of crack. But what do you think Gabrielle, who was back there, if she was waiting, what do you think she would make of these workshops?
Of discovery drama? Oh, she think they were amazing. I was always, I suppose one thing I had might have been lacking lots of skills, but enthusiasm, buckets of that. I would have thought that was amazing to be doing that, Yeah, I would have been absolutely delighted. So it kind of is my thing. Like when I look back, from my days in Trinity, like I left, I didn't walk onto the gate, the gate stage. I went straight to Galway And I started working with Machnus, myself and my good friend Liz Bracken. And we were working in the community there, and we were involved with making the puppets. I wasn't very good at that, but we did the parades and involved with community theatre. So that was very quickly where I knew I wanted to be, you know, working with the community. So yeah, it's right up my street, actually. Yeah.
And people talk all about nowadays finding your tribe.
Finding
And
the tribe,
you
yeah,
probably found yours early doors.
absolutely. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
But I
And
suppose,
there's no turning back really for you, Gabrielle, because like I'm acting 20 years now, so I kind of left school. I would have, geez, I didn't know what I was doing. I was a bit of a lunatic when I left school, and I was working in Brennan's Bread for a little bit. Then I started selling holidays for Panorama Holidays. Then I was working in a post office. Like I was all over the shop, and all I really wanted was enough money for beer, like at the weekend, and that was it. Really, there was no plan at all. It was a lad filled out a application form for me to go to the Liberties College and study drama, and it was just a pal of mine because he thought I'd be good at it, and I
yeah,
would have thought nothing of it. I went along to the audition for the crack,
yeah,
genuinely for the crack, and then got it. And then even I was going along to college, still for the crack, still not thinking like it didn't even feel real or whatever, but I would just go with the flow. And then after a while, you're like, because I don't truly believe in, you know, those books where something is willing you toward it, and you know the power of what's that book, the Secret, where you know if you.
I haven't read it, but I've heard of it.
But these ones where you know there's something that's drawing you, and you're unaware of it, but you're kind of heading toward it, you know. But I think that was drama for me always. And then, but then I think what's great about what you're saying you're doing with these workshops is it's creating a space for people to be able to go in and do it. And I think podcasts are so loved. Like, I mean, my God, yeah, 50% of the planet must be wearing headphones on their way to work now, you know, and even when they're doing the dishes and everything, because just podcasts, the people gobbling them up.
Yeah, they are. Well, I suppose the idea of this podcast, like it's, you know, this is, I just thought it would be nice to mark the first one before, because it's the very first one, to get it down about my feelings, how I'm feeling about it. But actually after this, it'll be me interviewing the different artists who come in every month and just get a flavour of who they are and what they have to offer. So when the people walk into the room, they have a sense that they already know this person. They'll know their voice and they know who they are, and they'll have an idea of what to expect. Yeah.
Good. So you'll be kicking off, as you said there, early doors in February.
Yeah, February the 10th. Yeah, all places are gone. And then there'll be another one then on March the 10th will be the next one. And then we'll see after that. I haven't confirmed the person, but it'll be somebody who's fantastic. Yeah.
Brilliant. So it's like a live podcast, really, isn't it?
No, Keith, it's going to be sorry, we might have this a bit mixed up. It's going to be a live, it's going to be a class. It's not just a podcast. Did you think it's just going to be a podcast?
I thought you were using podcasts as a way of, that was what you were centering the class around.
No, the podcast is only an introduction. It's going to be an actual class with real people, you know.
I'm going to put that down. I'm going to put that one little thing down to me just having two very young children. And
no, it's probably my fault. I probably didn't explain it properly.
No, I'm sure you did. It's because I read here Discovery Drama podcast on a list of questions you sent me.
It's not going to be just about. That would be interesting, though. I don't know how that would work.
Yeah. Well, look, if you're not doing that, then I'll do that, and I'll let you know how I get on.
Yeah, you see how you get on with that.
Yeah. But, you sent me a list of questions there only because I was asking. I said, what kind of stuff do you want me to ask? And fair play, you sent on a load of questions. As one of them you wrote down, you said, have you any funny story?
Oh, any funny story from life or from theatre or?
From anything at all.
Anything. Well, I suppose I was thinking of a funny story. So many years ago, before I actually wore glasses, which I have to wear now all the time for reading, I played a part called Ange in I was going to say Angela's Ashes, completely wrong. Abigail's Party by Mike Lee. Super play. Absolutely amazing play. So I was in it with the brilliant Larry, Julie Hale, Gail Fitzpatrick, and Ross. God, my name's gone terrible. I can't remember now. Ross Flannery. Anyway, so I played Ange, and Ange wears glasses. So as you know, Keith, like little things like props, glasses kind of define a character. So I was playing Ange. We had a run. We did it for 6 weeks in the new theatre. Anyway, so I think it was into week 4. We went for the interval. I took off the glasses, but still had the feeling that they were on my face. And then I went back onto the stage, And I saw the actress who was playing Bev, Judy Hale, she started giggling and laughing, and then Gail was laughing. I was, what are they laughing at? And then I realised that I didn't have my glasses on. So I had to go off the stage in the middle. I was like, oh, sorry, I forgot something. And just go off and get them and put them back on again. But it was just a moment. Like, I just felt absolutely naked on the stage without the glasses.
And it's gas, and it's kind of in the run of a show, it's inevitable at some point you're going to forget something or other. And you know what? If it's just a pair of glasses, it's not too bad.
The glasses just defined her, you know, and who she was.
Yeah. Good. Well, all I can say is the very best of luck with these not podcast specific drama workshops.
Yeah.
But Gabrielle, it'll be wonderful. And look, there's no better woman, and there's few people I've met now over the course of the last 20 years who would be better in a room with a group of anyone of any age.
I'm actually going to be in the room now. I won't be just speaking to them via the podcast.
The podcast. Well, it would be no harm to set up a microphone and have the word podcast written somewhere, because people love podcasts.
Never know.
But no better woman, because we did a job not so long ago, and it turned out to be a video when it was during COVID, but you were working with the group, and we did a video. Well, you did a video of Hamlet, and you had worked with this group.
What about that? Yes, that was with Raid. That was
Raid,
through Arts and Drama and Education. And you edited the video. You did an amazing job.
Well, I did. I kind of the handy job as well, but you collected all these people's stories, and I remember seeing, because I was just editing, and I had met none of these people before, whereas you were meeting with them and speaking with them regularly. I could see what a huge effect it had on them all, and what a positive thing it was. And also, some of them they were shining as well at moments in the when you were editing as well. These were people who had no background in acting at all, but it was just used, I suppose, as a device, as something to become interested in, or something that would be useful for them for whatever period of time or whatever they were going through.
A sense of achievement, you know, people who've never acted before, or just to try something, get up on the stage and take a chance, you know, take a risk, and to find yourself creatively. It's brilliant. And even, you know, I was working the other day, I do some role play sometimes for the RCSI, and I was working with a wonderful older man who was just in retirement, and he told me that when he was young, he did some acting, and he said he'd forgotten about it, and then one year he got to play Santa on the ward. He dressed up, and he said he just got so into it. And I just thought it is amazing when you put on a costume, when you put on that, we just lose ourselves, and it's that escape thing. And we don't have enough of that anymore, you know, for people to escape into a room, escape out of their thoughts, escape away from who we are. And
I would do that sometimes in between roles or acting jobs. Well, I find an old dip in the sea is my equivalent sometimes of, you know, when you're in the midst of doing a play or something like that, and you can get just lost. I find the sea is very good for that. You completely clear the head.
I was actually in this morning for my little.
Oh, very good.
We're showing off now.
I was in there on Sunday now. Absolutely.
Born. So listen, Keith, thanks so much. It was
pleasure
to have you on board. Yeah, I just wanted I asked you because just somebody who's great for the chats, and you're an expert at that.
You stop. Someone sure I hadn't a clue what I was talking about podcasts, but you can always, it might give you a chance to upskill and do that bit of audio, little snip there. You can try and take that bit out, Gabrielle.
Right, Keith, I'm going to look. We'll just leave it as it is. Listen, we'll show ourselves warts and all. Keith, you have a great day or a great evening. It's night time now. And thanks so much. You're an old star.
Thanks a million, Gabrielle. Lovely to see you and lovely chatting to you.
Likewise. Slán.